I'm currently up still $230,000 here on my Bitcoin long position, and in this video I'm gonna tell you guys is, are we going to dump much lower, or are we actually secretly about to reverse? And as well, this indicator over here has a target that is even more bullish than I've been in the last couple of months. But actually this indicator has a realistic chance actually of playing out. So if you want to know why, you're gonna have to watch the video all the way until the end, and of course make sure to sit down and relax, grab some popcorn, because holy moly, the Bitcoin price currently is having a small dump here to the downside. And currently I'm still up here $230,000 on my long position. I'm not stressing out at all. All of my positions are still doing absolutely amazing. But we are getting a slight dump here to the downside. Now, the reason for this is, I've already warned about this in the last couple of videos, is we are currently getting a very clear direct correction here from the visible volume profile. And so we had this cluster of volume I've been talking about here for days and days and days on end. We got one correction here, right over here when we came back into the upside. And currently we are again experiencing a little bit of resistance. Now what I think is we're probably going to take out the low and retry to take out here the visible volume range. If we fail here and we do have a mover to the downside, probably a bigger double bottom like this is going to play out. But again, we're going to have to just watch what is going to be happening here at around $96,000. We had one rejection. Probably going to take out the lows here and then retry something like this. So that's what I'm watching right now. And yeah, if you do want to actually go into a long position, this would potentially be the setup you should be looking at. Now, I'm of course no financial advisor. This is just my own personal opinion. But yeah, again, that's just going to be the major resistance here we're going to have to look out for. I've been warning about it here for the last couple of weeks. And yeah, we did got a rejection from that. But I'm still going to hold my position and I'm going to wait it out a little bit. Even if we do go a little bit down here, take out the lows, we're probably still going to retry. And I think after that, we have very likely are going to break it. That's just, again, my opinion, how I'm looking currently at the chart, but I'm just holding it and I'm quite confident here still in this position. Now, this indicator over here, this is the Bitcoin power law indicator. And this indicator just kind of blew my mind a little bit, but I want to actually explain a little bit here why this indicator could potentially play out and why the Bitcoin price might actually go as high as $500,000. Now, this seems quite a little bit absurd. $500,000, you're like, okay, we're not going to go there. I mean, you've talked about $200,000. Now you're talking about $500,000. Are you just making crap up? Well, this indicator over here, even though it's very hyper bullish, and I would say that even though the chance of this playing out are might be quite small, I do think that there is actually a chance that this is going to happen. And the reason for it is that even though this chart has actually not respected the top of this actual channel. So the power law indicator basically is very simple. There's this power law, and that happens, for example, in the building of cities, metabolism in mammals. There's this pattern that you keep seeing coming back and back again in nature. And basically what this person that made this indicator, it basically turned the power law into a Bitcoin indicator, and it has respected it very, very nicely here a couple times. One time, two times, three times. At the bottom, it has actually been following this exact trend line every single time. So you can see the bear market exactly bottomed out again at the bottom of the channel. But as I said, we haven't respected it one time, and that was over here at this previous major Bitcoin cycle back in 2021. Now, there is a theory out there, and that is that the reason that we had this correction to the downside is because FTX was collapsing, all the altcoins, Luna, etc., were collapsing, 3-hour capitals, and that's the reason why we had this quick all-time high. That even though we should have actually gone to like $125,000 this cycle, but again, because of FTX and all the speculation, we had this big correction to the downside. And we also have to know that in November 2021, the Fed started to actually raise the interest rates. And what you can see is that this is where the all-time high happened. So could we have been ready to break here, still to like $130,000 back here in November of 2021? And if the Fed didn't actually increase the interest rates, could we have actually still hit that target? And if FTX wasn't gambling, could we have hit that target? Like this indicator, of course, it can't actually take into account, for example, speculation and exchanges exploding. But it is an interesting theory that maybe the Bitcoin price should have gone much higher, and just the fact that with all the speculation going on, we didn't. And so what you can also see here is that this indicator has actually respected here the bottom of this actual trend line every single time, even in the previous bear market. So what this indicator is basically saying is that Bitcoin can go as high here as about $500,000. So we're currently sitting here around $400,000, but it will probably extend to about $500,000. This indicator is of course hyper bullish. Now, we could still go there if the US government decides to buy a bunch of Bitcoin. I'm not going to be in favor of this and say that this is going to play out. In my opinion, 200K is just the most likely scenario here at this point in time. But it is something to talk about that a lot of people forget about this theory but yeah, it could have been possible that we should have gone much higher in this previous cycle in 2021. Well, we didn't, but we didn't because of the Federal Reserve that was increasing the interest rates and all the speculation going on. The last thing I want to talk about very quickly is the Taiwanese dollar. Actually, well, the dollar actually dumped in the Taiwanese dollar here about 12% in the last 2 days. And you think, why is this so important? Taiwanese dollar, why does it matter? Well, the reason for this is that the actual DXY here also had quite a strong correction here to the downside in the last couple of days. The reason why this is so extremely important is that every single time that the DXY had a correction to the downside, this is when the Bitcoin had this massive rally here to the upside. So we saw this back in 2017, of course, the 2017 bull run, again 2021, big bull run, and now we're seeing the exact same thing. And these dollar declines, they correlate with these strong Bitcoin bull cycles. So we have the beautiful setup over here as well with this decline for Bitcoin to set a massive Bitcoin bull run. But if these other currencies, like for example here, the Taiwanese dollar, start going down in value, this is going to, of course, drag down the DXY. Now, why is this happening? Probably because of tariffs. And so what's happening is the dollar is dumping in Taiwanese dollar. And this, of course, is going to mean that if this is going to happen to other currencies where we're going to see these big collapses because of the tariffs, then this is likely going to boost, well, not boost, it's probably going to dump the DXY further to the downside and set the Bitcoin price up to go much higher. So we're going to have to see what the DXY is going to do. If it's going to take out the lows here, I definitely think that the Bitcoin price is going to start surging massively to the upside, as we have seen many times before. So keep an eye out for that. Keep out a little bit out for other currencies, smaller currencies like the Taiwanese dollar, but also the yen, for example, the Korean won, the yuan, the euro as well is going to be very important. See what these currencies are going to do, and if the DXY will have a significant correction to the downside, it is going to impact the Bitcoin price. So with that, I want to end this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and some interesting charts over here. And of course, again, take into account the volume profile indicator over here. It's called the VRVP indicator. So it's called the visible range volume profile. This is currently where the cluster is at this previous volume cluster. We've currently got a rejection from the downside. I think we're going to retry to break it. If we do, big move to the upside. But again, if we don't, maybe a longer sideways action that we're going to have to endure. So let's actually see, but I still have confidence in my trade. But I want to end this video. Hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.